now going to steam into the week's news, and one of the biggest stories that was announced on Monday was that Qantas is kind of officially throwing its weight behind the Yes campaign for the Indigenous Voice to Parliament. So what it's done, other than sort of kind of formally backing it, it's put new liveries on 3 of its aircraft. So it's a Qantas 737, a Jetstar A320 and a QantasLink Dash 8, which will have the kind of official Yes 23 logo on it. And this comes after Qantas also took a decision to back the gay marriage in the plebiscite a few years ago. This was announced with, I think, Anthony Albanese alongside Alan Joyce at a press conference making this announcement. It is a big move because Qantas is arguably, and we spoke about this before, the most high-profile business in Australia, and you're literally going to have the Yes logo on the planes. Now, when we used to talk about COVID, I used to say, I'm not an epidemiologist, this is an aviation show. And so we're going to have to give another disclaimer. We're not a political show. We are an aviation show. What's your views on this, Chris? Because some people would say, good on you, Qantas, for taking a corporate stand on a big issue. Others would say that an airline shouldn't be getting involved in politics. Where do you come down on this?
All right. So this may surprise you to learn, but my heritage is actually Aboriginal. So my great-grandmother was of Aboriginal descent and married my great-grandfather and so forth, so forth. So I am of Aboriginal heritage and descent. Way back when. And again, we are an aviation themed show. We are not a political show. So my view is not meant to be of any bearing. But I'm all for the yes vote, and good on Qantas for standing up and doing that. What I do love about Joycey is he always stands up for the underdog. He always throws his weight behind the people that don't necessarily get the voice that they deserve and things like that. And Qantas isn't alone here. There's a lot of major Australian companies that have thrown their support behind the yes vote, and there's a lot of Australian companies that haven't come out against it, but haven't, they've said that they support it, but they haven't publicly come out and supported it. So, for example, the big 4 banks are all backing it. Some of the newspapers are backing it. And we've now got the Qantas Group backing it. So well done, Qantas. All they're doing is basically saying, we support this vote. They're not trying to sway people to vote a particular way. They're not swaying their staff to vote a particular way. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. All it means is the head of Qantas has decided, I support this vote, and I'm going to show my support by whacking the Yes logo on 3 aeroplanes that are flying the network.
So the kind of the other view would be that, and I don't know the ins and outs of this that well, and also as a POM in Australia, I'm not eligible to vote, right? But the view would be that from what I gather on like the polling, kind of nationwide, it's almost 50-50.
Yeah.
And some polls say one way and some polls say the other. But it feels like whichever side wins this, it's going to probably be quite close. The argument would be, are Qantas right to take a corporate stand on something, knowing that potentially half their staff may not agree with that viewpoint? That's a curly question, but
look, I think they're entitled to take a corporate stand on it, knowing that half their staff may not agree with it. But let's face it, half their staff don't agree with half the decisions that the company make anyway.
That's a very good point.
It's I don't think they're losing any, I don't think staff will lose any sleep here. There may be a couple of conversations in the crew room or, around the bases going, oh, can you believe we're supporting this? Or can you believe Qantas is backing this? But that's normal anyway.
I think it is an important step because, as I sort of said before, like there will be richer companies, but then there is no more high-profile company in Australia. So I think for them to make this move is whether you agree with it or not, is a very big boost for the Yes campaign.
Absolutely. And Qantas is an extremely proud Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander employer. They've got academies, they've got scholarships and programs set up for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to move into the airline and move through the airline. And they're a proud employer of those people. So, I think good on Qantas for acknowledging those people in their workforce. And I use the term those people, but people of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander descent in the workforce. And good on Qantas for throwing their weight behind what they think is important. That's what matters most. They think it's important and they're throwing their weight behind it.
I think that's a very good analysis.